Okay, guys, so the next topic that I want to talk about is types of sampling bias. We can get skewed information uh, for different reasons. And it's not necessarily arranging our sampling in the wrong way, but just basically from um, we could suffer from different issues. So in the previous example that we were talking about the political scientist who was doing her research, well, in her case, she suffered from undercoverage because um, she left out a group of people, um, the the um, the graduate students who she did not cover in her sampling. And it's a big one. It's a very important factor in selecting in doing your study correctly. Another type of bias is a non-response bias. She also suffered from that because she sent out a lot more questionnaires that was returned to her. So a lot of people did not respond to her questionnaire, and that's a big one too. And a lot of times companies would offer some gifts, incentives, so that more people return their surveys, and they're legit. One time I got a phone call where I had a marketing survey, and they offered a 3-day vacation if I responded to the questionnaire. So that's that's real. Companies do that. They offer gifts for responding to their questions just to minimize this error, the non-response bias. Another type of bias is response bias, and that's when people lie or misrepresent information. And that could happen for a number of reasons. So one reason is maybe the wording of the question is very vague, and people just don't understand what's meant by that question. So for example, if you have a question about a GPA, and it's not specified, so you may wonder, what GPA are they talking about? Are they talking about GPA from high school, from college, or is it overall GPA, or is it maybe last semester's GPA? So there is a vaguely worded question, and there is also a potentially sensitive question. For example, um, well, one of my colleagues uses this example. If you ask a pregnant woman if she was drinking during pregnancy, just because of the stigma that's associated with it, a woman may respond negatively. Um, Another type is when people lie intentionally. So that's all a response bias. And guys, there is way more types of bias, but these are probably the main three. And I may give you an open-ended question on the exam or about the bias, and you have to basically think about what's going on potentially here. Okay, so this is about the bias. And another thing too is with ordering the questions. Sometimes the questions may be ordered in the way that people may change their opinion when they're taking the survey. They may learn something from the previous questions or have ideas from the previous questions that will influence their responses. So that's another type of bias. Okay, guys, so yeah, please, this is like, if I ask about the sampling bias, it probably is going to be an open-ended question, and you would have to analyze what's going on.